All right, this will be a very, very quick way to learn React in 8 minutes. So let's get started, not waste any time. Extremely simple app. If you know nothing about it and say, I just want to learn something about React. This won't be a normal thing on my channel, maybe. I might do more training. I'll keep it under a playlist, though. Best way to start off with codesandbox.io right there. I've already got an account, so I'll be logged in, but if you don't, create an account. It's free! You can upgrade for stuff, but it's free. Starting off with create, and we are going to go and create a React app and give it a name, very simple phone. I will call that very simple phone. Create a sandbox. And I am doing it in React, not TypeScript. So you'll get all this stuff. You don't need to know anything about it really right now from the very beginning, except I can see all of my magic happening right there, and I'm going to say this is a phone numbers, I guess, phone numbers. And I will say right here, enter a phone number. Okay, underneath that, I will actually have a place to enter it. So we'll start with a label, doing it incredibly simple here. Label, and it will be phone. And now we'll have an input box. Input anytime something is wrong, you'll see over here it instantly previews, which is really nice. This is one of the reasons I like Code Sandbox. Input, the name equals phone. The ID equals phone. Not going to do much with this, and the value for a starter is going to equal phone. Okay, and then we will end it and end the label, and all errors should be resolved at this point. They are not. What did I do wrong? What did I do? Oh, I didn't end the label, did I? Okay, now I ended the label. So now it starts with phone. Actually, we'll go ahead and make this 1, 2, 3. Instantly, you got 1, 2, 3. You can't change it right now because I said what the value actually is. And React is kind of funky this way. But the next thing I would have under that is probably a button. B-U-T-T-O-N, and it will say add number. Okay, end the button, get an error until you have it all balanced out. End the number, okay, add the number, and below that we're going to have maybe an H2 for our list. End the H2, otherwise you're getting an error again. And next we're going to have the list, which will be an unordered list with list items, and have one as a placeholder, and UL in the list. So everything looks good. Formatting does not, but I guess it looks good. Everything's working. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to worry about any CSS right now. Enter a phone number. There you go. I don't need the exclamation point there. Okay. All set. Now, yeah, so nothing works, really. I mean, no errors, but you would want things to be functional, so there's no functionality. So adding a number does nothing. So now we're going to get the magic of React going. React is all about state. And when I say state, it's not about like California, that kind of state. It's about state of being, happy, sad, whatever. It's just variable management, really. Just tracking values globally, which is so cool. Input, it all works by the magic of this hook, useState. And I'm going to say it is from React. Okay, it actually does want the quotes, which is a little needy, but all right. So and you'll get a little color there. It says you declared something but you didn't do anything with it. What's going on there? Okay, so first state I will use is the actual list. So I'm going to say the constant state takes 2 values inside brackets, which would be, I'll just call it the list, and I'll call it set list. So the second one actually updates it, changes it, adds to it, deletes from it, all that stuff is done with the set one. That's a function. And then equals use state, and it's going to be an array, so it will be in brackets there. And I want to say, go ahead and take in a default value of 3 and a default value of 2. So now I can kind of see if things work. Let's get colons. And again, you made something, but you didn't do anything with it. Same thing there, technically. So I will go down here and get rid of the placeholder that I did, and I will say brace, and I'm going to take that value of list and type the word map. 2 lefts and entry, I guess. Well, let's call it item. Item is probably easy to remember. Then we've got right parentheses, arrow function, and I'll just say you have an li item and undo the li item. Okay, so it's got 2 items in there. because we put 2 items in there, which is really cool. And then we'll actually put the value, which would be IDTEM. So there you go. So if this list grows, like you can see grow, if I just added another one here, the default one, it would keep it. So it takes this value of list and just maps it out. Maps kind of a funny word for it, but that's what they chose. There's a lot of funny words in React. I think other words were already taken, so they couldn't use it, but it's really just iterating through an array. So map goes through an array. Okay, so that's all looking good right now, but we want to add things to our list, right? That's the whole point of React. So I'm going to go up here. Well, I'll do this one first. Remember we talked about this doesn't change? Okay, well now let's get that to change. Constant useState again, we're going to call it the phone. Just keep it really simple. And set phone. So 2 items always. And then useState one more time. So the initial value will be, I'll do it with nothing. So that's a string, because I've got quotes, and just nothing in there. So the very first one will be nothing. So if I went to here and took out that value and say, use the value of phone, you would get nothing. Now, wait, why can't I change it? Because you haven't told it to do anything. Phone state doesn't change unless these 2 guys are called, or well, the second item's called, and we haven't called it. So under this one, we'll say on change, and then braces. And it's a funny thing, E, just sort of a form element. That's all you kind of got to know for now. And then I'll use that one called set phone. That function, and the value will be e.target.value. That's all you have to know for that for now. And then if I change it, see, you got to change. Now, we haven't attached any functionality to this, but at least this works. So if I go down to button, and this one isn't on change, but on click, and if you clicks it, then call a function called add to list. I guess I will use that. The function doesn't exist. It probably will tell me that. Will tell me that there. And go down a little further there. Constant, and what we call it, add to. There it is. Do the equals. We'll just use an arrow function, but you can use the old-fashioned way too. Either way works. So if you click that button, I want it to, well, I guess I'll use that other one, set list. And it's going to be an array, dot, dot, dot from the current list. So dot, 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 ellipsis is called spread operator. Again, it's just weird words, but you get used to it after a while. Anyway, just kind of take what's already there, but go ahead and add something to it. So the second value will add to it or update it in some cases. And there you go. And if I went there and add number, now all of a sudden, they start getting added. I'll do one more thing underneath, is when we added it, I will do set phone, and it will be nothing. So the phone number, so I'm just basically clearing out the phone. So if I add it, then it says, because I don't want to add the same thing twice, do 444-553-2222, and then I got a growing list. That's probably one of the simplest ways. Well, let's go ahead and clean things up just a tiny bit more. So it should start off with nothing, and then the first number, second number, third number. You would probably have names and stuff like that. That would complicate this a little more, not by much, but I just want to say this would be extremely simple and just take several minutes, and that's what we've done. So we've created a phone number list, entered a number using React Management to manage it, and then mapping through the list. So I think I've covered everything. The fastest way to kind of get a React app going that actually kind of does something, that has some interactivity and uses state for management. If there's any changes or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Maybe there's a way to make it even faster or more efficient than that. And I would add more things for future apps too. But again, this isn't going to be the focus of my entire channel, but this particular playlist, I'm going to do this because it helps me learning, and I think it kind of can give help to other people that are just starting out and thinking, I just need a simple way to get React going, state management going, and this is one way, but of course ChatGPT is another way. You just don't have someone walking you through to this level. Not yet, but maybe soon. Maybe as you're watching this. That's it. Cheers.